live.
Okay.
Hello, welcome.
Hello.
To everybody who's watching, because they don't realize it's interesting, when you're trying to put something together and the technical problems that happen, they don't realize what's going on in the background, but it's all good. Anyway, this is our probably our fourth member spotlight, and today we have the wonderful, the gracious, the beaming, enthusiastic couple, Marie and Tony. Tony Whittingham. Marie and Tony Whittingham.
Where is that?
Let me just give funny. I didn't know Tony before. I met Tony here, funny enough. I met Tony the first time yesterday up Devon House. But Marie I know from London through the community circuit kind of thing is back in London in Tottenham, funny enough, North London. So I know Marie for quite a while actually. Don't you, Marie?
Yes.
Yes, quite a while. Our paths have crossed from back then, and then how did we reconnect?
I don't know. It had to be an event. It had to be. It could have even been via Paul Lawrence or something. I don't know how we connected years later.
And then I realized that you're coming to Jamaica to live. And how you had probably made them. And when I heard that, wow, Marie, Marie, and then that's how I got to know Tony and done a couple of interviews with you guys before. But today, because we got the members, and we want to celebrate you, because you're our first couple.
Okay.
Yeah, you're our first couple, our first married couple. At that,
no pressure,
yeah, officially, no
pressure.
No. And so basically, the floor is going to be yours. It's going to be like a general chat, like a reading that we normally do. So it's not going to be nothing formal. I mean, we're not in a formal thing. We're just like, because we want people to hear his story, want to know who you are as people and as persons. And so I will take my little time and ease out and allow you to for present, for talk, So who want to go first, Marie?
No, you can.
And the first thing what I would say is, all right, just talk about. Just introduce yourself, Tony, and then introduce Marie, and then we take it from there in terms of the direction we're gonna go.
Okay.
My name's Tony Whittingham. I now reside in Jamaica. I've been here 2 years. Previously, I did all my secondary school in here. I was born in the UK and came here first time when I was 11 years old. Completed my secondary school and returned back to the UK, and then decided that I want to come back at some point before I end up in a box. and you, Marie? Well,
Okay,
one minute. Before, hold that thought. Is that Trevor in the background?
Yes.
Trevor, come out to the place. Oh, this is better.
Trevor, say hello.
Hello, sir. But we haven't. You're not going to be interviewed this time. So you're in the background. Yeah, man. All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Marie,
that's my brother.
I know. That's Marie's brother. It's very cool baby.
Greetings, everyone. My name's Marie Whittingham. That's my brother behind me, helping himself to dinner. Okay, so as Tony said, we moved back to Old Harbour, St. Catherine, 2 years ago. It's my the last time I came was over 30 years ago with my parents. So unlike Tony, which has been going to school and has got an association with this country and family, I've just got my auntie. I've got very little family here, but it's over 30 years. 30 years was the last time I came here. So that's it. We are retired out here, and we are both doing voluntary work. We've joined our local Chamber of Commerce. And I've joined in the capacity I've joined in the capacity of a secretariat, so transferable skills. And Tony, they're tapping into his skill set as well. They want to use him for various committees. So we're connecting with people in our community, business owners and residents, which is great. And what's the other thing? Oh, and then I've recently set up a little group. So that's nice to aid me, to help me with my transition.
And then, the funny thing is, you talk about your retirees, you know what I mean? And people have an image of retirees as being old and decrepit. No disrespect, you know what I mean? And in terms of, you know what I mean? But okay, I'm retirees, man. You know what I mean?
Go on and explain.
You know what I mean?
In a previous life, I used to work for BT. I did a 30-year stint with BT, and at that back then, I don't think they do it now, but you were allowed to take your pension at 50, and they had a very good pension. And I decided that to follow in my mum's footsteps and take it early, because I didn't want to get to this 70, 60, whatever, and then spend a few years just until I passed on. So my mum retired at 50. She passed away at 67. So had she stayed till 65, she'd only got 2 years of enjoying life without having to work. So that's what I did. I took my pension at 50.
Okay. And for people who don't know, BT is British Telecom, which is one of the major corporation that did telecom infrastructure in the UK, right? So okay.
And I'll say about my retirement, I was fortunate to
look like you're retired.
So I worked in a school and I worked for a local authority, and to my surprise, I could take retirement at 55. That's because I've been with them for 24 years. So had we still been in the UK, we wouldn't be in that position. I'd still be working, paying your mortgage. I'd still be running my car, doing everything. But coming out here to Jamaica, you could sell your assets, come out here, acquire something that's affordable, and you can live sufficiently on your pension at this age, which you could not do in the UK.
That is true. That is true. And you're right, because even though you'd have been retired, so to speak, in the UK, the pound value in terms of standard of living is, you know what I mean, is the standard of living would have dropped enormously, and you'd have struggled really, because the pound wouldn't have no value based on inflation going up and that kind of stuff. The question I have is so who made the first thought? Because I imagine that, you know what I mean, were you together when it came to the decision, or were you apart and then somebody came on board, and you know what I mean, so how what's the backstory to that? How did it all happen?
The backstory was that I was always going to return, come what may, and so when things didn't work out with my first wife, I decided that as time went on and I got closer to wanting to come back, I decided that I didn't want to get and take up any kind of relationship with anyone, because I didn't want no one to stop me from coming back, and I had the difficulties of trying to get someone to come on board with you. So for me, it was always, that was it. I'm coming home. So when I met Marie, I 4 years. Because we're 4 years. When I met Marie, I said to her, you know, I like you very much and whatever.
Whatever, man. You didn't say it, but we understand. All right.
However, I don't want to get too deeply involved because I'm going back to Jamaica.
Yes.
And with that, she gave it some thought and thought, okay.
She didn't want to lose you.
Exactly.
all right. Okay. You found a good one. Okay, all right.
So with that, she considered the idea and liked the idea and thought about it and thought, okay, so let's spend some twilight days together and enjoying retirement.
That's beautiful.
That was it.
So Marie, what bearing in mind that, you know, what Tony just shared, and obviously, like you said, you had not been back to Jamaica for like 30 years.
Yes.
So, and that's a compliment to you to a massive extent, because you're more or less taking a leap in the unknown.
Absolutely.
With a mind you don't know, really. Absolutely. But you love him same way. So obviously, because you wouldn't be with him. But the fact of the matter is, you took a decision to be with him in Jamaica even though you hadn't been in Jamaica for so long. And so,
Yes.
so you must have had some sort of emotional turmoil. Bearing in mind, because I do know that you have children and that kind of stuff. So,
Yes.
you know what I mean? So that for you, how was that for you? Coming to that decision?
I tell you what, I mean, as much as he told me and he conveyed to me at an early stage in our relationship, his plans, when I looked at Tony and looked at myself, I was doing what a lot of us are doing, working 24, 5 days a week, long hours, stressed out by Friday, just about earning money to pay all your bills and your mortgage. And I looked at everything and I'm part of that rat race, addicted to it. And I looked at Tony and I thought, he was working part-time. He was preparing, ready to make that move. And I looked at him and I thought, there's something, he's got it right. I kept looking at him on Friday when I'd meet up with him. I'm stressed and it took me hours to unwind. And then in my establishment and around me, I looked at people my age, younger, falling sick with various things.
Yes.
I listened to Tony, looked at his lifestyle and thought, I need simplicity. I need a more relaxed way of life. My children, I had spent years bringing up my children, and they were 25, 30, whatever age they were respectively. So they were out doing their own thing, and it was now about me.
Yes.
When I spoke to them, and as they got to know Tony and understand our relationship, they're like, Mummy, go.
Right, it's good.
More time now.
Yes.
And it was my youngest one, who was probably about 23 at the time. And he looked at us and said, Mummy, go. So once my children were happy, I just thought, I'll do it. My parents are from Jamaica. I've got auntie and I've got cousins here. Yeah. So I have got people here, people who have been back, visited us in the UK. And I thought I'll connect with them. So they were quite excited. My dad was excited I was coming to see my sister. And best still, we had my brother here, Trevor, who you just saw in the background. So my brother's been here 10 years. So he was quite excited that we're making a move. And if I look at my brother, he was able to do it. So why can't I?
Okay. Just do one thing for me. I want a fuller face of the tone. So on the hug up or something so we can see you. Yeah, man. So
is that it? Let's be thinking that's it there.
That's better. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, man.
So it's this one, not the one we're looking down here. It's this one.
Yeah. That's good. That's good, man. That's good. Wonderful. Yeah, I see the happy smiling couple. Somebody asked a question in the chat. So are you Jamaica as retirees? And the answer is yes, basically.
Yes.
All right. So know that you came to the decision. You was there excitement? Was there fear? Was there Was there so you know what? You were going for it, but gonna have these fears anyway, or you just said, yeah, man. Everything good. We're just running with it.
I mean, I looked on the internet. I went on the internet and I knew I was coming to Old Harbour, St. Catherine. So I went on the internet to try and see what can I find about Old Harbour. There was very little. I had to trust the faith, trust the process, because I didn't really get anything. Tony may have told me a little bit, but it's not like pictures or anything. So I was coming into the unknown. I didn't know what to expect coming to Jamaica, because I said it was 30 years ago I came back. I just felt it was meant to be. You almost felt it was destiny. There was something about the whole process of meeting him, developing our relationship, hearing his journey, looking at the fact that my job was, I could say, killing me because I was having, end up in all sorts of stress. Stress
I know that.
Related. Yeah. So you had to look at something and something had to give. Yes. And I can't even say there was anyone I spoke to who had done anything similar. I couldn't say there was anyone. But I just I felt, something I had to do.
Yeah. So in terms of, because that means that the house that you shared, how it's renovated, and a lot of our members that process was like, I said, wow, you guys got to the house, and so in terms of just the housing, so you're the one who found it, Tony, because you knew the area.
What happened is my mom has a house in the Old Harbour area, and I happen to have a room there, a room with a view. So we were staying at my mom's house. Yeah. And in that process, we decided the area we're in, which is the area we live in, was it looked like a decent enough area to
Yeah.
set roots on. So it kind of just, we're in the area.
We got to know people.
Yeah.
We got
Good.
to know the community.
Yeah.
Good.
Go for walks, so we got to know. And we thought the best thing is just to settle in this area.
Okay, good.
You've just got to think of links as you get older.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the other thing was, because I grew up here. My school days were here. I know people here. I know Old Harbour, and
Right.
I used to live in Old Harbour. So
Okay. Which school did you used to go to? Which school did you go to? Which school you went to?
I went to Old Harbour High initially, and then I went to St Andrew Tech in Kingston.
Okay, you went to Stats. Okay, all right. Cool.
Stats.
Stats. Sorry. Stats is St. Elizabeth. You see my push to go country, you know? Yeah, true, man.
Yeah, I went to Stats. Yeah.
Wonderful. So and then, all right. So the process of moving now, what, did you ship down, or did you just come with the empty hand, or did you organize? What was that like?
We shipped some things because on experience and looking at what other people have done, we decided, especially my mother, because when she came initially, she shipped almost everything.
Yes.
And in the end, it did. For example, she shipped a lot of UK toilets, and they weren't compatible here after they went bad,
Right.
and so forth. So we looked at what we could bring, like things like, I don't know, televisions and all that, and we decided that certain other things like buying fridges and all that we would get out here, because it's just a lot easier to deal with, and to if you have any breakdowns or anything, it's a lot easier for parts and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Selective about what we shipped. So
Yeah. Okay. All right. And so, what was that process like in terms of getting that organized?
Getting them here was easy. From the UK, they picked them up, they packaged them and everything. The process of getting them off the wharf is a little bit different.
Yeah.
But it's so it's a whole day and whatever, and going through different areas and jumping through different loops and so but eventually we eventually got them. But it wasn't too getting here, no problem.
So when you saw, because were there a number of houses that you looked at, or was that the first one you saw? I said, my God, that's a house.
No, it was the first one we actually came into. What it was, people were part of a community, so people were actively, as they got to know us, actively looking for something, looking next door. Marie, come and live beside me. Everybody, there's an elderly lady who's 88. I offended. He started asking everyone, so everyone indirectly was asking.
Right.
And I think one day I remember walking around the neighborhood, just walking around. Do you know any houses for sale? Do you know any houses for sale?
Right.
There's something here. People drive. There's lots of. The thing is, where we live, there's lots of empty lots and there's lots of empty houses. There's this land sitting there, but they're all purchased. The houses are locked up. Maybe the family living in America. So there's all that, and I just kept seeing that every day. I'd go for walks in the morning. I'm looking at. I like that. And in the end, it was your sister that told us. Sister just said, look, we know of somebody who's thinking of selling up. So we got in there before anything happened.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, and we came in as soon as I saw it, I just thought that was it.
Okay.
And I know Tony didn't really think the same.
Why not?
I love the trees. I fell in love with the trees and the grass at the side. And just the trees, all the trees along the side. I loved it. As soon as I saw it, because I've been going for walks every morning, so I've been seeing houses. Seeing them for over a year, maybe, or 6 months. But the minute I came into this, I knew I wanted it. Okay,
wonderful. What about you, Tony? What was your...
So I kind of thought, because if it was a fix-me-upper, so it needed... You needed to put work in to get it to this century. And I said, I would prefer to buy something that doesn't need as much work. Failing that, we're not going to build from scratch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because what I've noticed with a lot of homes and so on, if you don't buy it and it's complete, you're always doing something to it, and you never seem to be able to complete it.
Right.
And with fix me uppers, it's really hard to judge how much you have to be fixing up.
Yeah,
And it
that's
turned out that we had to fix a lot up. So,
yes.
that was my reservation, that I would have rather moved into something that was already at a point where you wouldn't have to do much work to.
Yeah, I hear that. But in saying that, because I've seen the pictures of the after, and it's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful. So the work that you've done has, to me, has paid off in that sense, because you have transformed it into a really beautiful home. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Yeah, really beautiful.
Not without his headaches. Not without his headaches.
Yeah, no, of course. Without.
Even the old lady. Sorry to cut you, comment. Even the old lady, she still rings me and she wants to have some breadfruit, can I have some neem, can I come and get some whatever? And when she came in here, she was emotional when she came through, and she walked through her daughter and they were doing a video. So we've transformed it. We've transformed it, and it's a lovely home. But also our neighbours, it is quiet, but we've got some nice neighbours.
Good, wonderful.
Yeah, so we've got, the fact that we were living in the area helped before.
Yes.
As you'd go for a walk, you got to know people. And now that we moved here, my immediate neighbour is fantastic. A Jamaican.
Wonderful. Wonderful, because I know that the area itself has a number of returnees, right? It's a returning community.
Yes.
Albeit older. But
yeah. I guess you're the youngest retirees, huh?
We are. Also, Kwame, I would say if they are returnees, they are returning. And Old Hub, we've got lots of schemes, gated schemes, really nice ones. So they're gravitating towards that. And I didn't when we were looking, I didn't really know about schemes. I just was walking and thinking, okay, where Tony's mother was, this is just 3 roads along. I looked at all these houses. I didn't venture into a scheme. So naturally, I just ended up buying a house in the vicinity.
Yeah.
Had I been aware of schemes, I might have gone in and had a look.
Okay, because funny enough, because I stayed in, I don't know if you know the aqueduct. The aqueduct is further, I stayed over in the aqueduct because a friend of mine has a place over there. So I know what you're talking about around that area.
Hey.
Yeah, so I know the aqueduct. So just to mention, to any member who has a question they'd like to pose or any comment, which I'll read at the moment, they can always put that in the comment section. Somebody had said earlier on when Trevor was there, Carla Brown, Trevor on a seafood diet too, like me. So you can pass that back to him.
Trevor, there's a question.
And my friend and Marie, there's someone who also has said that you have now become a brilliant source of information. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, because and also, I mean, what I did as someone who was coming here, and there was no one that sort of like, I'm not gonna say wished us well. They wished us well, whether family, friends, whoever, but they were cautious. The fear factor. My goodness. My goodness, my mom, everyone. So what I done to address that, coming here, I want to promote Jamaica, and I do that through my Instagram page. And it's not about sun, sea, and sangria. It's not just about the beach. I will just show everyday life when I'm walking down the road and someone's picking up pears off their tree and sharing it. So just little snippets of a video, picture I've just shared on my Instagram page, just for my previous UK followers, my friends, so that they can see and they can possibly give it some thought. Yeah,
and it's interesting, and which is something we're going to come to. Because I'm going to go back into the journey and the transition that you've now made. Back in Jamaica. So how you find it? Because I know that for you, Marie, like I said, because you have been away for quite a while, it can be a kind of a challenge for you in integrating and assimilating. And for Tony, it's probably seamless. So give me a little a little bit about from your both about in regards to now that you're here and integrating and assimilating, because you have done it. You are doing it, and you've done it very well. Because you even get yourself involved in various other activities, which is what you need to do in order to integrate.
I know.
So I'll go first.
I've got an extensive network of numbers in my phone, probably over 60 already I've massed, whether residents, people living around, businesses that I speak to now, even DSP for the Old Harbour. There's a lot of elderly people where we live in Marley, Mount. And I pop along, go and sit down with them and have a cup of tea just for an hour. And that's what I've been doing, things like that. But I've always been that person that likes to go out and network and engage with people. And it has been difficult 2 years on. And I look and I think the transition, because obviously I'm not going to be able to cultivate the kind of friendships I had at home, lifelong friendships. But I gravitate to anyone that is from the UK. So some of my friends around here, there's an 88, and there's an 80-year-old woman down the road. 2 of them are from England. There's a 70-year-old chap that we know. We pop along, go to the house, sit with them, and it's lovely because they're all coming from England. Yes, they were born and bred here, and they've come back, but it's lovely. Have a cup of tea, rich tea biscuits. It's lovely connecting. So from that, then I've decided when I do go out, especially when I go to Old Harbour, if I hear an English accent, I would naturally speak to that person. So I've made about 5 connections here. And I've got a solid connection here. Yeah, where did I meet? Yeah. I met her on a Zoom meeting. I heard this English accent. And we sent a message via the chat and we connected. So I think it's quite important for me to aid my transition.
Of course.
Is what's it? Someone said kinship. It's, forming relationships, like I say, like-minded people. We're coming from England at my stage in life. I certainly don't want to be changing myself, having to adapt too much, because this is authentic me.
Of course.
So, by connecting with other people with similar interests, and ultimately we'll be meeting up and inviting each other in our respective homes. It's been great. So that's been really good. That's helped me enormously.
Yes. I'm sure. Tony?
I was transformed years ago. So
I know what it is.
Because when I first came here, as I said, as a young boy, I fell in love with the country, and so I always vowed to return. So I'm spending 10 years. I spent 10 years during my teen years here. So I was used to how things are, how things go. I've got some network friends here already established here from that time.
Yeah.
So no, I don't know what to say, because I'm with it. I was in England. I was always in Jamaica, if that makes sense.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So it's just all England was doing was keeping me from coming back, or as I saw it. So. And I don't have a problem in that sense the way Marie does, because and when I left, I used to come back every year, spend my 6 weeks holiday here and all that kind of stuff, and cry for days when I went back to England. So,
I know what you mean. I remember. I like you, Trevor. My journey is kind of similar, because I was born in the UK and I came here when I was young, but I grew up here. Formative years. I worked here. So I left when I was a young man, till I went back to UK to finish my studies and stuff like that, and to travel, because I've done a lot of traveling. I lived elsewhere, so I've had that opportunity. But like you, I've always made sure that I came back. And my peer group, and I would always say my peer group, really, my closest peer group is here in Jamaica. So I was never able to create relationships elsewhere. Just the one good one in Canada where I used to live. But aside from that, I just it was very difficult, to find an authentic, genuine person that I know would have my back regardless. You know what I mean? And that's what I have in Jamaica. So for me, it's I understand, and I understand you too, Marie, because it's the same sort of. When I went back to the UK, the isolation I felt. Oh God, I ended up, and then what made it worse. and this is like early days. I went back as a young man. I remember I had a friend. I was able to start playing football, and I ended up being on a football team, Broadwater United, right, Broadwater Farm. And it was whilst I was with that, I was able to get some kinship again with some Jamaicans who came in, and the team fused, and there were Jamaicans there from time. And so you, like you said, you gravitate towards that kinship. But one of the first things, like you, Tony, what made me realize that I was always going to come back home. I remember, I can't remember if it was I think it was before the riots in '85, because I went up in '85. It was October '85, the riots took place, Broadwater Farm riots. And I remember when I went to check my brethren, no, it's after, I think. I went to check my brethren, and I remember coming off the farm, and England's cold and all that kind of stuff. So I had on a long coat, and I was kind of cold. I'm walking off the farm, and then one bag of police have come down, flying out.
Okay.
Never happened before, never happened to me before in Jamaica, that police fly out kind of thing. Police would stop and check you in Jamaica, a particular way, in a particular place. But this, I was walking off the farm, and I'm flying on holy police, and so what you doing, mate? So, what do you mean what I'm doing? I'm coming out and walking out the farm. Well, we had some information that there's somebody, your description in X, Y, and Z.
Okay.
I said, what?
Okay.
I said, I'm not running. I'm walking off the farm. You said the person's running onto the farm. Why would I then decide to turn back and run back? I'll walk calmly off the farm.
Yes.
So anyway, so I started talking to them in a way that made them look stupid. So because I didn't get riled or anything, I didn't get riled and all of it. That's what them get. So I started talking to them. I said, don't you guys understand? It's kind of I wasn't being safe to it. I was asking. And then they said, what? Yes, no, okay, up. And them disappear. They said, from that there, twice me get stopped, I said, from that there, I said, you know what? I still had got here, I was still had got here. I said, quick, I forgot that I got here. But that was a part of the experience I had. And then obviously, as you're aware, working in the workplace. And so for me, there was a lot of contributing factors as to why I couldn't stay in regards to,
right.
I call it emotional trauma. It's daily.
Absolutely.
I want to try to explain that to somebody who's never experienced it or had no awareness of it. And when you come to Jamaica and talk, classism, colorism, I say, listen, when you have trauma on a daily basis, and it's made up of your own, it's not your own, it's just like you see what happened, you hear what happened to other people, you just see, you know what I mean? And it's constant. You know what I mean? It's constant. You're going, like I said, in the workplace. I didn't go to school there, thank goodness. But, I can just imagine being in schools because I was a school advocate. And then in the schools, the facing they come to the schools, into the college, into the workplace, on the street. It's constant.
All the time.
I take up my hat.
All the time.
Our people who are there because the pressure, and like you said, Marie, about the constant stress. And I kept comparing, like later on in life, over the years prior to COVID, what the stress levels were, and I faced it because there was a time when I was in the workplace like you, where I had to go home and come with stress.
Yeah.
I had a friend who ended up in a mental institution based on the racism that she faced in the workplace. When I tell people them things, then it's like, no man, I tell them, I said, you don't know, you don't know.
Yes.
You know? And when you tell people and you start to drill down and let them understand that when it comes to something like institutionalized racism, and it's inherent and endemic everywhere, and it's constant.
As we discussed yesterday, the stories, although they're different, they're similar in their outcome and what happened to you and I. And as you said, it was a day. BT was okay. I had a lot of hard time, especially when I got to the management level, because there's not many black managers, and they didn't see us. They didn't see me as somebody able to manage a team of people.
Yeah.
They just saw me as someone I could run the wire from A to B, and they threw a lot of overtime at me, and those black people will be fine. Just because I've heard them say that, just give them overtime, mate. They'll be fine. They're not interested in leading and all that. Just throw overtime at them. And I thought I didn't want this. That's why in the end I went to college. I went to night school, and then I had day release for 5 years to try and improve my position in terms of making me more. And again, it's always me trying to make myself acceptable to them.
And
palatable to them, so that they'll give me a squeeze into their little organization or clique or whatever it was. And I just had enough, as you said, I had enough of that, and thought, because in the last days of BT, I was off sick for a whole year, because of racism and all that. And in the end, we just came to a mutual agreement, and that's why I said I'll retire.
Yeah, right. Like you, we have the stories. We have the stories. We have the stories. What about you, Marie?
I would say to anyone contemplating, anyone thinking of making, the transition, coming back home or moving abroad to the Caribbean. I mean, as I said, Jamaica was never on the cards for me. It's not something I ever considered until I met Tony and I gave it some thought. And somebody asked about my parents. And as I said, lots of people were apprehensive, but they had to recognize at the age of 54, you've met somebody, you're going to get married for the first time. It is your time. They recognize I've done my stint bringing up my boys. I've worked hard. It is your time now. So they had their concerns. They were extremely worried because of everything they read on social media, newspapers.
Yeah.
And we had my brother here, so that was great in itself. And he's been here 10 years. But I came, it has been difficult for me. I miss my creature comfort. As a woman in England, you can go out whatever time of day. I'd go at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. I drive out, go to rave, go to visit anyone. These are the kind of things I'm not doing here. We're 2 years on, and one of the things that's making it a little difficult for me for us at the moment, especially me, is that we haven't acquired a vehicle. So I know, like yourself. So when you do have a vehicle here, life will be vastly improved.
Totally.
We rely on either chartering a taxi to go to our supermarket, and we use public transport. And people are abhorred. My cousins don't even use public transport who live here.
All right.
My Jamaican. When I go and visit them, you came on public transport? So I'll go into Kingston, take the taxi to Spanish Town, from Spanish Town to and sometimes we charter someone if we're going into town. So it just depends, whatever we feel. And that's how we've been moving around for 2 years, going Maypen, public taxis, public transport.
Yeah,
but it has helped. But it has helped that we've had to wear the mask for 2 years. No one needs to talk to me. No one needs to trouble me. If I got my own us, they don't engage with us. So they don't need to detect that foreign accent to a certain extent. So, but I'm sure once we acquire a vehicle, I will not be using public transport. Yeah. That's what
and having it is a convenience, and it does help. And it's interesting because somebody by the name of Jenny, I hear you up, Marie.
Hello, Jenny. I'm looking forward to seeing Jenny when she's
okay,
she's
wonderful. And the question about the car, somebody's talking about bringing it in or buying in Jamaica.
All right. We decided that we were going to buy one here because the process of bringing it in is and they've changed it again. Apparently, they've made it even more difficult. And of course, the thing buying one here, the models they hit here, you can't get parts of them. So
exactly,
because you might even buy, for example, I don't know, you might buy a car, like say you buy a CRV, the CRV specs in England is not the same as the CRV specs that they bring here. We know people have trouble with certain parts because even though it's a CRV or whatever, the specs is not the same. So I would advise, we would advise anyone to just get something here.
Yeah,
it's just a lot easier in the long run.
And I totally agree. And the choices that you have in terms of going somewhere and finding one affordable is you know what I mean. It's not like one time before, but like you, I say if you want to go down that road in terms of bringing in you have a sentimental attachment, then expect a lot of a lot of paperwork, a lot of toing and froing. A lot of
There's two friends that have bought theirs.
We know
they've
some,
bought theirs. They've imported and they've been fine.
But Fred.
No, I'm not talking about not Fred. The other two people recently imported their vehicles, and they said their quality, they're stronger vehicles, they're different vehicles compared to the ones we're getting here from Japan. And another one imported his vehicle, but unfortunately the specs, they didn't have the parts. They had to send it back home. But there's someone I've known that bought in two vehicles, It's been fine. It's been great.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing, though. When it starts to depreciate even more, and you need to repair parts on it, that's when you're gonna have the issue. That's when you're gonna have the issue.
Yeah, and we know of another person. He bought a Range Rover, and he had to send to America. He couldn't get the parts here for the Range Rover. So basically, you can
do a lot of research.
Look at the vehicles that would be most compatible here, and do it that way. But we definitely would just buy one here.
Yeah, we will. Yeah. We will.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. All right, I was going to move on to talking about because you said it, Marie, in terms of networking. Now, bear in mind the difficulty that you're having in terms of integrating and assimilating. But you have taken initiative. You said, you know what, I'm going to do the same thing I did in London because that's how I met you.
Yeah, that's how. Yes.
That our paths kept crossing, but you have actually done it, and you've taken the same initiative here in terms of going out and meeting people, like you said. So what have you done, and who are you talking to, and where?
I mean, I would say to all of you, I mean, what it is, how it started in the UK. I worked in Muswell Hill, and these are white middle class in a school. And all the networking, the amount of things that happen in that playground, when Mummy drops little Freddie off at school and little Isabel and Phoebe, the amount of networking that would happen in that playground. So I learned a lot from that culture, being a governor and watching how people did things. So I started doing that in the UK, getting our people together, coming together, putting on events, whatever. And now that I've come to Jamaica and offering my services voluntarily, I wanted to do ageless teenagers. I wanted to bring what Janice and Erwin Weiner have got in England with the older, pensioners, ageless teenagers. I want to replicate that here because there's so many old people getting together. There's different charities like Lions Club International. Somebody's asked me to join that. But I've gone into the schools and I wanted to do voluntary work there because that's where I'm coming from the school. And then I just happened to get snapped up by the Chamber of Commerce. So networking is natural for me, but I realize as our people, we need to be doing that. Totally. Because already we meet via Zoom, and it's going to be fortnightly now. And it's been emotional, people, whatever difficulties they have, whatever challenges, we talk, we discuss, we support, we share information on healthcare, dental, health insurance, childcare, anything, contractors. We're all talking and finding we're having similar experiences. So it's been really good. It's been great to do that. So networking for me, I'm sorry. 2 young ladies I met individually, I contacted them both individually, said, you need to speak to each other. When they eventually spoke, they spoke for 4 hours. 4 hours, they didn't know each other. And then they met person yesterday. But that's power, because I think all of us, you make to make a move, to move into any country, you are going to feel a sense of isolation and lonely, and at our age. So it is, for me, it's important to network.
What do you mean your age? When I went to the UK and I was so isolated, me end up I get married. That wouldn't happen to me if I did that in Jamaica. Yeah, at 20 odd years old. But that's what isolation can do, It's but you're right. And yesterday, just to share with members and stuff, there was an event at Devon House, a very nice event. It was a very fun event. It was called the Blue Mountain Coffee Festival. So Blue Mountain Coffee had a festival, and it was nice, and it was nice having, because there's a number of other people, repats and expats, who were there, and we had a nice little line, so to speak, So it was nice, and those things tend to happen. There you go, that's a picture. Oh wow, yeah.
We all came together.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. There you go. And you got to meet the wife of the Prime Minister. We didn't, because we went somewhere else. But anyway,
it helps.
It totally, and it's good in terms of, as you know, I have loads of contacts. It helps in terms of getting business done. It helps in terms of getting your foot into particular doors. It helps that you're talking to the right people for things to happen. You know what I mean? And really and truly, that's how it is. But networking is huge in Jamaica. It's not, and the difference is, from my experience of networking in the UK and here. And here it's more social. The networking is more social. In the UK, it's more formal. You know what I mean? Yeah. So for example, like yesterday, the event that we were at, you meet the Prime Minister's wife. You understand? And it's a social event. You know what I mean? Even though certain people never weren't too happy, but it's still the Prime Minister's wife, right? So that's how the linkages are made more than so in a formal setting. You gonna say something, Tony?
No. I was just as you were saying, it's important on many levels, but like even for example, finding someone that can do something in your home or help. Shared experiences of workmen and work practices and where to buy this and where to get that. All those things. If you're on your own, it can just explode your mind.
It can frustrate you.
And we know, and I know from experience, especially in Jamaica, they don't really. The sites are not so clued up in terms of advertising themselves on the webs or finding something quickly or where do I want this? Can I can go and search, but you struggle sometimes to find a store that does
exactly
all that kind of stuff.
I tell you talk to a man or no something. I say, yo, we can get that. For example, and it's funny you said that, because remember, like I said, I go back and forth, but I never actually had a car accident in Jamaica.
Okay.
Thank goodness. But I had an incident where I was in North recently and I had rented a car. So I was backing up the car and I was looking at the car as a rear camera, right? So I'm looking at the rear camera and the next thing you know, boom! I'm saying, what the hell was that? So when I come out, because it was a wagon, a station wagon, I'm looking at the middle of the back window, there's a tree branch, so the sensors of the car didn't pick it up, the back camera didn't pick it up, and the center, mash up, I remember the higher car, I said to myself, I was gonna cuss. I said, look at that. I said, look at that, and then I called on. I said, listen, I'm a great guy, wonderful guy. I said, listen, I have a problem. When we can get this, and I'm saying, yeah, man, go, boom, 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 boom. 2 tours, a lot of money to get it repaired, but had to get repaired, and 2 tours, it was done. So, like I said, Tony, I didn't know where to go. You know what I mean? So the car and say, yo, where can I get? And it told me where to go, and immediately. So you're right in terms of particular things. If you talk to some people, say, man, let me talk to somebody, and then it wouldn't be formal in terms of being listed and that kind of stuff, but you just talk to people like you say, But so now that you've been here for 2 years and you reflect and you say, boy, where you're at and where you want to go, and me and Marie share this in terms of the spirituality of the place. We feel there's and for me, there's a vibe in Jamaica which definitely in the UK, not the West personally, but you can jump in a car, I'll go up on a bus and travel somewhere, and you can just look at the greenery, talk, hear the people, listen to the stories, see the excitement, see the drama, and trust me, it's priceless.
You don't realize, because we lived in London, and the concrete building them and that, and every day we go out and we look around, and the horizon is always, there's mountains and there's the horizon is beautiful every day.
Yes.
You look and you think, wow. Even from where we live, we look out the window, we can see a landscape, and you just realize how much you miss that you're in these cities where them, even in Kingston, there's the view and everything. So even though that's a city, there's still a backdrop that you can appreciate every single day. Everywhere we go, wow.
Exactly.
Wow, look at that. Wow, look at that. And that is priceless in terms of how you feel every morning that you get up. Fantastic.
What about you, Marie?
I compare it in England, in the UK. I love the countryside. I love traveling out, and that's where I feel we've got here. We've got all this lush, just green, these trees, but we've got the hot climate. And better still, we've got the people that look like us. You go in a country, you go in a countryside in England, you spot the black. But I'm here, and I got the climate, I got lush, I got beauty. When you go for a walk in the morning, I cannot even tell you, I cannot describe it. It's just beautiful, and just people that look like me. So, and they all say good morning. They're friendly.
Yes.
We haven't got the seaside. We're not in the North Coast per se, which I can understand people want, and that attraction. We go up to Ochi, we go and visit my brother up there, and we go and spend some time up there. But just here, it's just fine. Honestly, I do fine. Yeah, we've got some Salt River down the road, so it's lovely.
Yeah, I like you. Sometimes when I'm fortunate enough to drive on the highway and stuff like that, I literally have to pinch myself. You know what I mean? Yeah. I said, man, you know, I have to pinch myself and and say, give thanks. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know, but there's a question here posed by someone, I don't know who it is, but they said, can you talk about healthcare? Do you have insurance, for example?
I'm going to get insurance. In our group, in our meetup group, one of the ladies mentioned she had named surgical, but she had insurance. Funny, I know a rep a rep. But I'm going to get healthcare insurance. But what I've always been banking on, I don't know how you feel, but as soon as you go back home within 2 years, pop along to your GP, pop along to your doctor. But obviously with COVID, that hasn't happened. But still, they've been ringing. They rang, the doctors rang asking for Mr. Man. I gave my parents' landline numbers. They weren't too happy. But as soon as we go back, we'll I think I'll touch base with my dentist.
Yeah. In terms of here, we look to certain options because some people I know have told us that they've taken out like a credit card and they've just kept it just to pay
medical emergencies
that happen because they're not okay with paying insurance and they're not.
Nothing happens.
Yeah. So there's that to look at, but we'll probably eventually take out some insurance because you know what happens if something happens to you in the middle of the 2 years before you pop back or whatever. And I don't plan to pop back, you see. So I'm not one who wants to
pop popping back business.
Not for me. So
pop nowhere.
I would do and look at the systems here and what we can do. And we've spoken to a few people who do have insurance, and they seem okay okay with what the policy and what.
So you're looking at you have your options and you're looking at.
Yes, we have our options.
You're going to decide this one.
And even with the healthcare, we've gone to various GPs and we've got 2 different GPs. We've got one that we used to go to, and then I went somewhere and found a better one in my eyes. So I've gone to him now. And I tell you something, and I've seen a neurologist, and yes, every step of the way you pay for your blood test, pay a little something for your doctor, went to see a neurologist? I went seeing Kingston, paid a little something for that. But I'll tell you something, when you're sitting with these people, there's something assuring about sitting with your fellow black doctor.
Can I tell you?
Black nurse, it's an Asian dentist, but the black hygienist. There is something where you think they are, rooting, they're there for you and they've got your interest at heart. That is.
It's interesting. You should start to know. Because I was referred to a GP. Been here years, for years. I think it's Trinidadian. But the funny thing is, I said, hold on a minute. Because when I'm in the UK and I go to the GP can't spend more than 5 minutes to see me,
No,
you must make sure because it's a numbers game. Me and the doctor here sit down. I must talk about for 45 minutes. I reason about politics, Jamaica, Caribbean.
Yes.
I feel like they're one of the best friends. I'm saying, look at that. I'm sitting on and I said, I'm saying, I love English tea. So no problem. I'm going to bring some tea for you. And like man want to become best friends.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's so the relationship in that regard. You know what I mean? So I know I said, like you said, it's gonna have my interest at heart. Yes. Because we know created a relationship. We talk when we're going. We talk about all sorts of stuff. You know what I mean? And that's a difference. That is a big difference. All right, I paid, but it's a big difference. It's not like I said going to a GP and what's wrong with you? What, you okay? Okay. The prescribe the job and you're gone.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Definitely. And even a friend we know with children, young children, primary and secondary, the best decision. She's gone to the GP. What's he got? He has his fits. What's he got with him? What's the one where you have episodes?
Right.
Epilepsy.
Epilepsy.
Yeah.
Epileptic. Yeah.
This country, the top compared to what they were doing. Is it the same? It's not epilepsy. It's
sickle cell.
Sickle cell. Yeah. Sickle cell.
Right. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
they are on the ball here compared to the situation and people I know and what they experience, what you hear about in the news. On the ball here, definitely. The healthcare system, I'm not going to fault it. I'm not going to knock it. Caring, yes, you pay as you go along, but it's fine. And as we see, we'll see what happens when it comes to if there's something major. We always have people trying, saying they're going back to UK for something. A major,
and then you probably go on a waiting list.
Yes, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, wonderful. So I'm just gonna say to the members now. Paula Brown is talking saying seizures. No, it's the sickle cell actually. Sickle cell and seizures. Sickle cell can cause seizures, can't it?
Yes, that's it. And she's gone to local hospital, wherever she's gone with that child in the middle of the night, and they are on the ball. So she said, Marie, the care she gets for a 13-year-old beats anything in the UK.
Wonderful. Yeah, so that's the members in the comment section. You can put in your comments and questions that you may have or concerns to our wonderful couple, our first married couple, legally. No, legally married. Yeah, I mean, and they're here in Jamaica and living their best life, So
on that journey, I was saying, part of it is ensuring that you have your citizenship.
I was going to say
your passport and you get the citizenship at the same time you get the passport now. They give you both. So that's also important if you're going to remain here. So
and obviously, as you know, there's a distinction between those who have that lineage can get the citizenship and those who have to then go through a different process.
That's right. Yeah, I got it through my mother.
Yeah, you got it through lineage.
Yeah, I got it through my dad.
Yeah, so there you go. So so we've had an hour of reasoning. I hope I brought out some of the points that some people are concerned about. Is there anything else that you would think you would love to share in terms of your journey, in terms of the reflecting back and the choices that you've made and so on and so forth?
The one thing I'd say is, if you do make up your mind to come, for me, having 1 foot in the UK and 1 foot in Jamaica, not gonna work. You're just gonna be turmoil every day. So there's issues, there's systems, there's processes that don't quite line up, and they'll frustrate you and they'll make you want, see me now, I'm not here now, look, see it gone. So, but I've decided that I'm going to run with it because I want to be here.
Totally.
Does that make sense?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Marie?
What would I say? Oh gosh, I'm just looking at a chat. Can I just respond to one of the questions here regarding recycling rubbish?
Yeah.
You know what's quite interesting? My brother's here, and our refuge where we are is collected probably every 10 days. Where he is, every day.
Yeah.
So depending, if you're on the North Coast, they might have some recycling systems in place and in the heart of Kingston. But where we are, there's no form of recycling here. I think Spanish Town, I see some guys and some containers, they do a bit of recycling. So it just depends.
Yeah. And what I would also say is, it's because I know, because it's an industry that some partners, actually a guy from the UK is looking to move into in a big scale. One thing I would say is that recycling is not done on a mass scale yet. It's done, but not as big as it can be, and the potential in terms of the benefits from it. So you're correct, Marie. It depends on where you live, depends on where you are, depends on how often your rubbish is collected, and whether when they move the rubbish on, that there's possibly that are recycled. But so she's planning to bring her bins. That's what she put.
Yeah, she's thinking, I plan to bring my bins. Okay, it depends, but I wouldn't say there was any need.
Bins? Recycling bins.
No, she's laughing.
People burn rubbish here anyway. People are burning their rubbish. My neighbour, burning their rubbish. Where's me? I still put in the bin. The key is links. When you come here, depending on your community, there may be a little WhatsApp group. So there was one for around here, so I've joined that. I do recommend people consider joining their Chamber of Commerce, if not in a business capacity, as a resident. You just pay $6,000 a year, if that. And what you're privy to is meetings, and you know what's going on in your area. We just had one about Old Harbour Eye in Jamaica Eye in Old Harbour. That's what that was our last one. That's an open meeting. So by joining your local Chamber of Commerce, you'll find out what the initiatives are planned, what's happening in your locality. And eventually when you moved, then we'll link up when you've made the move.
Somebody's asking if you both work. You work for yourselves.
No, we're volunteering. We came back, as I said, because in the UK, if I was still in the UK, I'd still have to be working. But coming here with the pension we've got, you can live on that here comfortably. We can live on it. And someone's even offered me a job, and I'm seeing opportunities, things that I can do. Bear in mind, I'm clerking for the chamber, so I could offer that services to the JPF and to the schools for meetings. But I don't want to be sitting there reporting to anyone and looking at the clock. I have to give back. And I think majority of people from the UK, once you look at your retirement and what your entitlement for the year, if you speak to me, you'll find I took early retirement, so my retirement is not a lot of money, but it's comfortable right now.
Yes. Well said.
It's not a lot of money.
That's the same thing I said. I said they look too young to retire, but there you go. Somebody said that. They definitely look too young to retire.
Well, considering I was only working to pay the bills, I wasn't working because I loved it. So, so the minute I got a chance to retire, as I said, rather than giving my years to work, then as long as I can manage, then that was what did it for me. So, and if I was in England, I couldn't. I would have to still be.
Yeah, we'd still be working. You couldn't afford to.
Totally. And that's funny she said that, because that leads on to the next question that somebody posted. Said, so if they're living comfortably, is that local or foreign? And it means comfortable in the sense that they're able to, the income that they would have earned in the UK would not sustain them. So in Jamaica, it enabled them to sustain them and have a comfortable life. So it's either which way you want to take it. It enables them to live locally on the income that they're getting.
Or do you mean locally we go to the supermarket and say we can't really buy a bottle of orange juice, but we'll buy sorrow? I don't know. Is that what local?
No. I understand where the question's coming from. So they want to know if you're, what I mean? Like I said, I think it's based on the fact that you get an income from a pension. It wouldn't have been able to sustain the youth.
No, definitely. Here though,
here it can. So there you go. So I said local. You know what I mean? But you want to take that.
And you'd be surprised. A lot of people that have come back are expats. They'll either have someone, they buy a car and they give it to someone, so chartering, someone's driving the car for them, earning money, bringing them, what else have I got? People are renting out parts of their houses. That's a norm around here. So there are various options for you if you want to. You build a little
self-contained flat. They normally add those on and then they rent that out.
Yeah, so a lot of
and back on your point, Marie, in terms of where you're saying about opportunity, you saw an opportunity into the class, right? And that's the thing. What I say to anyone is that there are opportunities. You know what I mean? It's just matter, because you can come with different eyes and see that something's not being done. You probably just fall into it and you realize, hold on a minute, this is an opportunity because nobody else is doing it, right? So in that regard, it's I would say, and the eyes that you have, you're able to see things that those here can't see, and you make something from it. You know what I mean? So this is probably for Tony. Would it cost a fortune to move my record collection if you suggest that going back and forth?
Well, my record collection is here, so no. I mean, no, for me, no. I've moved everything here, everything. So there is no going back and forth. I don't have anything over there. There's nothing there for me to live. It's just visit if I go and come back. So I've moved my entire record collection, everything I have in that area.
Yeah, vinyls.
I look forward to you, female DJ. I look forward to
vinyls. It's got vinyls.
We were in.
Sorry, go on.
Okay. Yeah, we were. We're vinyl collectors, avid vinyl collectors.
Yeah.
And we were out crate digging last night in the one record shop in record shop in Jamaica in Kingston. But we were in there for about 3 hours. Oh, it was fantastic. It was fantastic. So I look forward to meeting ex-female DJ, vinyl records all the way.
All right. So yeah, man. So yeah, like I said, the base, so over an hour, of reasoning and sharing your story and your journey. And like I said, yeah, it's wonderful. Like I said, I knew Marie from before. I met Tony. Two wonderful people. Come back to Jamaica, come back home, and living the best life. What can you say? And yeah, so beautiful people. We had a fun time yesterday.
Yes.
And sure there's more to come. Yeah. So fun time yesterday. So yeah, any final words? Let me ask if there's any more questions. Any more questions? Any comments, statements from anyone watching? Thank you for watching, by the way. For participating.
Thank you.
So any final words that you may have?
You're welcome. Link us up when you eventually make the move.
Yeah, we're here to help, support, assist, whatever. So
share tips.
So it's Yeah,
man, wonderful.
Whenever you're ready to make the move.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna tell you, it's a woman like Marie, I find, gosh, she follow 6,000 miles, You know what I mean? Follow 6,000 miles to a place she hasn't been with how much donkey's years. Yeah. And something like Marie, want me to know. Trust me.
I was very fortunate to have met her because I could not conceive any woman at this stage.
Yes.
Going to join me in Jamaica.
I tell you,
I couldn't conceive that, so I resigned the fact that I'm going to do this alone. So it's been fantastic meeting someone.
Beautiful to see. Yeah, man, beautiful to see. Thank you for the sharing. So like I said, so thank you. Thank you. I can say you're my friend. I can catch my head when we're ready.
Yes. When you're ready, yes.
Listen, that's why my brother's been here for a few days. My brother came to visit. And he won't go.
You won't go. You need to go back and watch you, man. Take you for stamping passport and tell you to go back and watch it. You know what I mean? But no, man. So thank you very much. Thank you for everyone who was watching.
Yes, thanks.
Wonderful.
Thanks everyone.
Wonderful, and yeah, man, I'm proud of you guys, and yeah, man.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Man. Yeah, man, I'll see you soon. See you soon.
Yeah.
All right. So blessings.
Thank you, Kwame, and thanks to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Bless up.
Bye. Bless up.
Hold on, but before you leave, where can contact you, by the way? Where people can contact you? Where they can contact you? Email.
They can contact you at
Instagram.
They got your on
Instagram?
Facebook.
I'm on Facebook.
Instagram mine is cool COOL.barbers as in haircut. Somebody put it in before cool.barbers BARBERS.
All right. Okay. Wonderful. Tony.
You can reach
and I'm on Facebook as Tony Whittingham.
Wonderful. Awesome. So, beautiful people. Love you.
The black Tony Whittingham. There's a white one.
Oh wow!
Was it off like if I Tony Whittingham? So they're the black ones. All right.
Bless man.
Yeah, I'm on
all right.
Cool.barbers BARBERS. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.